Julio Jones has been traded to the Tennessee Titans, AFC. Bit of a powerhouse now in that
Mm-hmm.
AFC. But they've got Tannehill, they've got AJ Brown, they've got Derrick Henry, and
Mm-hmm.
now they've got a major player added to that group of people who are already good in their own right.
Yeah, absolutely. And looking back on it, I had thought about, oh, maybe he'll go to the Patriots, maybe he'll go to the Colts, but the
Mm-hmm,
answer was
mm-hmm,
always there. Julio Jones was always linked to the Tennessee Titans. AJ Brown, I'm sure we'll discuss with his recruiting process, and as well Derrick Henry working out next to Julio Jones throughout the
mm-hmm,
offseason.
mm-hmm,
The clues were there. So in a way, I shouldn't really be surprised, but in another way, I am. And for me, I
mm-hmm,
think it's a great fit. I think that offense is it's given Tannehill another great weapon, but also it's given Derrick Henry a bit of a break. And for me, I think
mm-hmm.
this will be a defensive nightmare for any matchups in the future.
Yep.
What are your initial thoughts
Yep.
on it, Ross?
Initial thoughts are it's an amazing move for the Titans. They just kind of needed a player to push them over the edge into being a Super Bowl contender, and they've done that through this move. Now, the thing I'm not too sure about is the defensive unit they have.
Mm-hmm.
There's stalwart on offense. No doubt. You look at the players they've got there, but are they all that on defense? And it'll tell the season. Defense wins championships. That is the saying, as the saying goes. Defense wins championships, and we'll see this season. Can they go to the Super Bowl? Not this year,
Mm.
but I think they've done enough to put their name in for the playoffs in 2021. The thing I can't get over is the fact that he went for a second rounder in 2022
Mm-hmm.
and a fourth rounder in 2023, and then not only that, but the Tennessee Titans got a sixth rounder in return.
I know. I I cannot believe that Julio Jones went for so little. Yes, you can factor
Mm-hmm.
in that the guy's 32, and I know last season he did have injury problems, but for me, Julio Jones is another animal. Like you think of wide receivers, and you look at the stats, and he stands out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yes, he had a down year last year, but I still think Julio Jones has plenty of life left in him. And for me, you've alluded to how this is a great deal for the Tennessee Titans. For me, I think who the real winner out of all of this is
Mm-hmm.
AJ Brown. I think AJ Brown, we
Yep.
saw last year, he clearly
Mm-hmm.
idolizes Julio Jones, and I think with
Mm-hmm.
the double team that Julio Jones attracts on defense, that's just going to open up so many different
Mm-hmm.
targets for AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that's 100% right. And AJ Brown is a highly coveted man when it comes to defensive scheming. They're
Mm-hmm.
all over him. You look back at the tape this year, you actually look at the play that put them out of the playoffs against the Baltimore Ravens there. Tannehill dropped back. It was, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 3rd and 10. No, it was
Mm-hmm.
4th and 10. He dropped back. He had Derrick Henry to his right, but downfield, he had AJ Brown wide open, but he was double teamed.
Yeah.
Sorry, Corey Davis was double teamed, and
Yeah.
AJ Brown was open. And this is the story of how these things go. You have AJ Brown open, you have another receiver who's a great receiver, but he's maybe not. It's all about kind of matchups and looking at who's free downfield. And Julio Jones is great to distract players, and even if defenses choose to put two men on Julio, you have AJ Brown there, and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
And Derrick Henry can pass or can catch the ball out of the backfield, no doubt. The other thing I suppose to take into account is jersey number. It's always a massive deal
Right.
when it comes down. 11 is not free on the Titans,
That's
and
true.
a
Yeah.
lot of people speculate that Julio will take number 8. What are your
Mm-hmm.
thoughts on that?
Yeah, it was quite interesting because previously in the off season, AJ Brown said, "Julio, you can take 11, do whatever you want. If it means that you come, that's great." However,
Mm-hmm.
recently he changed his tune and started saying, "No, 11's mine. I'm not going to change it for anybody." So it will be interesting to see if he moves back to 8.
Mm-hmm.
His number at Alabama,
Definitely.
and with
Yep.
the current name changes, or the current number changes, which I know we'll also discuss. That will be possible for him to do. So it'll be interesting that way. And as you alluded to as well, for me, I think the aspect that makes this trade the best trade for the Tennessee Titans this offseason is the fact that they replaced Corey Davis. Corey Davis was lost to the Jets in free agency. And in my opinion, you give me the choice between Julio Jones and Corey Davis. I'm sorry, I'm taking Julio Jones every single time.
Definitely. Yeah. And I put out a poll, actually, going back to the Super Bowl contender thing. I put out a poll during the week on the Instagram page, and a lot of people seem to think it was a 60 to 40 split on the fact that, well, I suppose it's tighter than you think, but the majority of people decided that the Titans are a Super Bowl contender this year.